Hello, welcome. Today I want to talk about the divines a bit, specifically the ones that give out pass rewards. I've been going through doing a bit of research, just reading up on some of them, and I've made a list of the most profitable pass giving divines. Well, all of them are profitable. I've basically just ranked them from 1 to 25. And I thought that might be useful for people wondering which ones are the most worthwhile ones to go for in the weekend promotions. I mean, also the other divines, a lot of them are also very profitable, but they give out items, and so that really depends what items you need to benefit your game, whereas passes are just generally useful. So item giving divines are based on personal preference, whereas pass divines, well, they give out a number of passes a specific amount of times, so those can quantifiably be ranked. So that's what I've done. So, jumping straight in, I don't own most of them, so for the information I've mostly gone off the special horses page, but I've also been looking at the forums and kind of checking around on some of the ones that I'm not so sure about how frequently they give prizes, etc. So I've managed to get a pretty good idea, but some of the rankings could be a little bit off, but they should still be generally quite correct or near enough. So in 25th place is all of the wind divines. Now, as you can see when I'm scrolling through all of these, they all offer 10 passes as a point for one of their rewards. However, there's only a 100-year range where you can get these for. You get them at age 3000, I believe, and only until the age 3100 can you receive the rewards from them. You do that by taking them on rides to increase their skills and their wind force. When their wind force reaches 100%, they create a tempest, and once that's over, you get one of 3 prizes, and the pass is only one of those 3 rewards. I don't know if they cycle through like the Egyptian divines do, or if it's just completely random. I'm not even entirely sure how long it takes for the wind force to reach 100%. I don't have any of the wind divines. I couldn't seem to find anyone talking about it. I'm just going with the assumption that you get at least 10 passes a month. I could be horribly wrong, but that seems fair. So the next one, at 24th place, is Pluto. Now as you go down, Pluto is one of the solar system horses. While taking it on rides, you have the chance of finding 10 passes. So really, every day you have the chance of finding 10 passes, but just basing on how stingy pass-giving horses can be when they're from completing random actions, I'm going to assume that you're not likely to be getting more than 30 a month. I could be horribly wrong, you could get far more, but it's sort of luck. It's not a solid, you will definitely get these passes, so that's why it's in 24th. Next, 23rd is joint between a lot of the gemstone horses, specifically topaz, gypsum, amethyst, pearl, quartz, amber, opal, agate, and onyx. So, as you can see, for example with amethyst, once he's been put to bed, he creates a UFO, and some people will get 10 passes from that UFO. It's the same with all of the other ones I've listed. You complete an action and then you have the chance of getting 10 passes. Topaz is slightly different, and that's because you don't actually need to own Topaz to get the benefits of the reward. You just need to congratulate Topaz. They can be other people's Topazes, and you can congratulate up to 5 per day. And every time you congratulate one, you'll either get 50 equus or 10 passes. So basing off how regularly I get passes off Topaz, I congratulate Topaz every day. I'm saying you probably won't get more than 30 passes a month from any of these gemstone divines that I've listed. You might get more, you might get lucky, but based on how frequently I get passes off Topaz, it's probably not incredibly likely with these gemstone divines. 22nd is Zelida. I think that's how you say it. And so you get Zelida by equipping Tack, and it's a legendary, not a divine, supposedly, but same thing. So it's a similar sort of thing as with the gemstones and with Pluto. Some days you can groom Zelida twice. On those days, you get 10 passes. again, judging off the frequency that you get passes from the gemstones and from Pluto, I'm just assuming that they're all roughly the same drop rate, so you're probably not going to get more than 30 a month. Next, Osiris, don't know, the Egyptian one. And as you can see in the description, every day when he wakes up, you've got the chance to win either 10 passes, equus, or skill points. So technically, you have 1 in 3 chance of getting 10 passes every day. However, in forums and things, I've seen 1 in 9 odds being thrown around, so I doubt you're going to get 1 in 3. So 1 in 9 is much more likely, which works out, again, at roughly 30 to 40 passes a month. Next, 20th, all of the grey files. So, as you can see in the description, they're all the same. Basically, they need to live for 30 days. You don't need to care for them for 30 days. They need to live for 30 days, and then you kill them off, and then you get 20 passes from them, and 20,000 equus as well, which is an added bonus. Then you bring them back to life with Pandora's box, and the cycle begins again. So you don't need to look after it for most of the time, but you do then need to kill it off after 30 days. So it's kind of once a month, you go check, kill it off, revive it, get 20 passes. Quite simple, not a lot of care needed, but you do only get 20 passes, so some of the others, like the gemstone ones, even though you have to look after them every day, you might potentially get a few more passes from them. But then again, Greyfell you don't need to look after as much, so that's why it's a bit higher up the list. Then in 19th, one of the plant divines, so that means you need to give them droppings to increase their skills, and then you prune them to get the rewards. So with Alga you need 300 skill points, and then you prune her and she'll give you 10 passes. You need 300 points worth. You can only give a maximum of 200 droppings a day. In spring, that equates to 60 points, summer 48, autumn 30, and winter 18. So for Alga, you can get the reward 3.64 times a month on average. So that means you're going to get about 30 passes a month if you are religiously giving the droppings every single day. And that's quite a bit of work because you need to be looking after enough horses that you're generating 200 droppings a day, which can be quite a lot. So that's quite a lot of work, but you do guaranteed get 30 to 40 passes a month. Now, the next tier, as I've sort of put them all in, so before, all of the horses that I was talking about, they were ones that you had to work pretty much every day, I think with the exception of Greyfell. You had to actually visit those horses every single day, and yet they would only give you up to about 30 passes a month as a reward, on average. These next ones, you need to work every day still, but on average they'll give you up to about 50 passes a month. So, first of these is the chimeras, and I have one here. I've got the chameleon. So as you can see, basically 10 passes a year until they're aged 80, which works out as roughly 750 passes over its lifetime, as they're roughly 5 when you manage to tame them. You might be able to tame them a bit quicker, but you get given them when they're 3 years old, I think, if I remember correctly. So you're only going to get roughly 750 passes for them over their lifetime. It'll take 1 year, 3 months roughly to get all of them, but basically it's about 50 a month roughly if you look after them every day. The annoying thing about chimeras is that you can see down here, in autumn and winter, they may refuse some of the care you tried to give them and lose energy. So it's just a bit of extra hassle when you're just having to click the care buttons multiple times, sometimes for like half the month. But 50 passes a month, quite good. Next, the wild horses. Slightly better than the chimeras because they don't have any of the, caring problems. Same premise, 10 a month, not 10 a month, 10 for every year they age until 80, 750 in their lifetime. As you can see, this one gave me 10 passes this morning. So it just appears somewhere in the care box in place of one of the actions. You click on it, you get the passes, and then the care action reappears. So they come 17th. Next is Hippogriff and Hippolectron. So each time you groom them, they leave feathers behind for you. You collect enough feathers and then you win 50 passes. I've heard in the forums that people find on average it takes them just over a month to collect enough feathers to win the 50 passes. So another sort of like daily task, and then 50 passes roughly once a month. Next, Earth. Now, Earth is kind of a funny one. You don't actually need to work her, but every time her sun Moon has a birthday, you get 10 passes. So you don't need to work Earth specifically, but you need to work Moon in order to get the passes. And every time Moon has a birthday, if you work Moon every day, Moon can have a birthday 5 times a month, so you get 50 passes. So don't need to do anything with Earth, but work another horse and you get 50 a month. Not bad. Next, in 14th, is Caryopsis, another plant divine. Same premise as Alga, but you only need 80 skill points. So you can get one 13.65 times a month. However, the catch, you only get one pass seed. You need 25 to grow a field of passes that gives you 100 passes. So it'll take you just under 2 months to get enough pass seeds, and then another month to grow the passes. So technically every 3 months, however, once you do the first one, it'll then only be every 2 months, because while the pass seeds are growing, you can still be collecting more pass seeds and starting the cycle again. So every 2 months, just under, you get 100 passes. Quite good. So that's the end of the ones that you need to work, and you get up to 50 passes a month, because Caryopsis, if you divide 100 every 2 months into between 2 months, then you get roughly 50 a month. That's how I work that one out. So these next ones are ones that you don't need to do anything for, and will get you up to 50 a month. There is one exception, but I'll get to that in a minute. So the first one on this, coming in at number 13, is all of the love divines. I've got one here, and you do nothing, and basically every month on the 14th you get 20 passes. There's no time cap on that, no age limit, just forever. Log in within the past, log in one of the 3 days running up to the 14th of every month, and you'll get 20 passes. Very simple, don't need to do a lot, and you'll just get 20 passes for it. Quite useful. Not a lot, but you don't need to do anything for it, and that's the same for all of the love divines. Next, 12th, is all of the rainbow divines. So with the exception of Secret Rainbow, who gives 2-star coloured tack, every single other one of the rainbow divines gives 10 passes on a specific day of the week. You need to log in within the 3 days running up to it. So basically, if you log in every day, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 horses, one for each day of the week. You can be getting 70 passes a week. That's if you've got all of them. If you've only got one, then that is 10 a week and roughly 40 a month for doing nothing more than just logging in. So 11th, 11th, sort of like joint 11th, 10th, is Saturn and Venus. So I have Saturn, so we'll look at that one. Basically, you just need to log in within 3 days before the full moon. Venus is the new moon. So basically just logging in regularly, and you'll get 50 passes a month from Saturn and 50 passes a month from Venus. So that's each of them giving you 50 a month for logging in. And then finally Sun, which is the sort of exception. So you don't actually need to work Sun to get the rewards, but basically he'll give you 10 passes every day that another solar system horse gives you one. So, seeing as some of the other solar system horses can give you passes every single day of the month, you could have up to 300 passes a month. However, the likelihood that you will have enough solar system horses, or the ones that specifically give you passes every single day, is very slim. So that's why Sun is only 9th, just because the likelihood of meeting the requirements to get that many passes is quite small. If you just have Sun on its own, he's not going to give you any passes because you won't have any other solar system horses giving you them. So Sun can really range, hence why it's only 9th and sort of in the 3rd group of horses. You don't need to do anything, but you need to be working other horses. It relies on other horses to ensure that you get those passes. And now we're moving on to the second to last group, so the second best horses. And those are ones that you do still need to work, but they get you more than 100 passes a month. So starting at number 8 is Ruby. Ruby is one of the gemstone horses, and on his birthday he gives you 50 passes. So you need to work him every day, but also, as you can see, all rubies come with a Water of Youth. So it's not every 6 days, but every 12 days that he will have a birthday. So he'll have his birthday 2, maybe 3 times a month. So you'll get between 100 and 150 passes a month from Ruby. Next, Mars. He earns you 10 passes every time he wins 20 skill points. Now, I don't have a Mars, so I don't know exactly how often that would be, but I do have a Saturn. And with my Saturn, as you can see, today I managed to get 5 plus 4 skills. So that's roughly 9 skills every day. So if Mars gains skills at the same pace, then you'll be able to get 20 skill points every 2 to 3 days. So roughly 13.5 times a month, or about 130 passes a month you'll be able to get, just by looking after him every day. In 6th is Sapphire. So basically, every time he wakes up, he'll ask you to join him on another player's profile page. If you follow his instructions, he'll give you 10 passes when his age in months is an even number, or 1,000 equus if it's an odd number. So he also has the Water of Youth, which basically means every other day you will get 10 passes. So looking after him every single day, that means you're getting 150 passes a month. Next up, in 5th, is Jade. So Jade gives out passes every time he wakes up with at least 1 skill greater or equal to 0. It doesn't say on the page how many passes you get, but from the forums I've found that if 1 skill has a value of over 0, then you get 10 passes. If 2 of them do, you get 20. For 3, you get 50. 4 is 100. 5 is 200. And if all 6 somehow are above 0, then you've hit the jackpot and you get 200. Then you get 1,000 passes. Jade is probably the most useful gemstone to have. Now, you'd think your chances wouldn't be quite high, but on the forums I've seen people say that they get 200, just over 200 passes roughly a month from Jade. So not actually that stingy with pass giving out. So Jade is a really good one to go for, and that's why Jade is 5th. Then joint 4th is Io and Jupiter. They have very similar requirements, and they are the 2 that can potentially get you 10 passes every day of the month. And that's because Jupiter, when he wins 2 competitions in one day, gives you 10 passes, and Io, if he comes second in 2 competitions, gives you 10 passes. I personally think Jupiter is a bit easier to get the 10 passes because you just need to make sure he's the best, whereas Io, you might struggle more, I don't know, to get the second places in competitions. I feel that's a bit more tricky to sort of like tactically do. but nevertheless, both of them can get you up to 300 passes a month just by working them every day, entering them in competitions every day. Now we're on to the big three, and that starts with Neptune in third. The big three are all horses that you don't need to do anything with, and they'll get you more than 60 passes a month. So some of the others in the previous group may have got you a lot more passes, but you needed to work them every day. These ones just sit on your account and give you more than 60 passes a month. First one, Neptune, you just need to log in, and every 10 days that you log in, you get 30 passes. So if you log in every day of the month, then you'll get 90 passes a month, which, not bad for doing nothing. Next up, Mercury. Again, you don't need to work him to get the reward. He just gives you 10 passes every time the date is a prime number, provided you logged in with the past 3 days. So log in every day, just to make sure, and I worked out, and I think there's 10 days a month where the number is a prime number. February, it's 9, and on months when there's 31 days, it's 11. So on average, you get 100 a month just from logging in. And finally, the most useful pass-giving divine to have, in my opinion, is Graces. And that's because he just sits on your account, and on the 13th of every month, you get 100 passes as long as you log in the day before. So just log in on the 12th every month, and you'll get 100 passes. And twice a year, the 13th is a Friday, roughly. In which case you get 200 passes a month instead. So a year, you'll get 1,400 passes just from logging in 12 times. That's all you need to do, and you get 1,400 passes. So, admittedly, Jupiter and Io, not actually in my group of top horses to have, but they have the potential to get you the most passes every month. Also Jade has the potential to get you a lot more, but the chances of that are much, much slimmer, whereas Jupiter and Io get good at competitions, guaranteed 300 passes a month, which is really good. However, if you just want to sit around and do nothing, then Graces, Mercury and Neptune are the best ones to go for. I hope you found this useful, and also that my information is mostly correct, seeing as you saw the number of divines out of those that I actually had. But hopefully my research has proved somewhat useful in deciding which divines you want to go for in weekend promos. Let me know in the comments if it has been useful, which ones you're going for, if you agree with my ranking, if you have information that differs. If I'm wrong, I would actually like to know, because this is information that I'm going off when I'm going for divines, so if I'm wrong, please let me know. But yeah, I hope that's been useful. Let me know if there's anything in particular you'd like me to make videos on in the future. Okay, bye!